Ever since the Williams sisters set foot on the tennis court, they've caused a lot of debates. Their life on and off the court is pretty shady, if you ask us, which is why everyone thinks there's more to these superstars than meets the eye. Venus and Serena Williams hold more than 100 singles titles between them. If not the best of the best, they're definitely up there among the top tennis players of all time. But like we mentioned, there is a bit of a dark side to the Williams family. Let's start with the younger sister. The fatal car accident she was involved in, for starters. In June 2017, Venus Williams was involved in a tragic car accident in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, which led to the death of 78-year-old Jerome Barson. Barson's wife accused Williams of speeding into an intersection after running a red light, causing Barson's sedan to T-bone Williams' SUV. Barson's estate sued Williams for wrongful death. According to Williams' legal team, the light was green when Williams entered the intersection, but another driver made a left turn in front of Williams, and the tennis star was forced to stop and wait. By the time that Williams could continue driving through the intersection, the light had changed to red. Williams' team added that Barson died because he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. Originally, the police stated that Williams was at fault, but they redacted a statement after going through video footage of the accident. Even later, authorities determined that no one was to blame for the accident. Venus hasn't been charged over the accident, but that's still a pretty big mark on her reputation. And we're just getting started here.
There are really no words to describe how devastating and I'm completely speechless, and it's just, I'm just.
The rise of the Williams sisters has since proven to be a goldmine for the media, especially after the sisters have had to face off against each other in high-stake matches. But that's led many to believe that Richard Williams, their father, was fixing his daughter's matches. Rumors started flying around when an alleged injury forced the younger sister to pull out of a semifinal match against Serena just a few minutes before it began. There was a dramatic response from the crowd and the press, and Richard later claimed it was all fueled by racist propaganda. The public response also prompted Venus and Serena to come out with a statement denying that anything shady was going on behind the scenes. Here's what Serena had to say at the time: "We always go out to compete, and that's how it's been. I think if my dad would decide, then maybe Venus wouldn't be 4-1, maybe she'd be 3-3 by now." But despite them having repeatedly denied the allegations over the past few years, the match-fixing accusations have continued to hound them. And if you think that's all for the allegations against Mr. Williams, think again. He's way more contentious than most people would expect. According to the New York Times, his decision to train his daughters was driven primarily by money. It all started when he saw a female tennis player earn over $40,000 for just 4 days of work. And that was back in the 80s. He couldn't believe what he was seeing and instantly decided to start training his kids in the rough streets of Compton. His methods were questionable, with some of them including hanging signs around the court that read stuff like "Venus, when you fail alone." And these aren't rumors, it's stuff that he's admitted to on national television while bragging about how severe his training methods were. In fact, he even said that sometimes he went so far that gang members tried to intervene. As the Williams sisters rose through the ranks of the sport, Richard's personality continued to cause controversy.
In order to be successful, you must prepare for the unexpected. And I wanted to prepare for that, not where it's that I would perpetuate myself, but where it's that I can move myself whenever there was a problem. Serena Williams, that's #1 in the world now, I believe. She played at a place called Indian Wells. The whole crowd turned against her. And all that she had to do was remember the training that she...
In 1999, when the sisters competed in their first major match against one another, he held up a whiteboard that read, "Welcome to the Williams Show." So clearly, he wasn't exactly trying to shy away from the spotlight. At around the same time, he boasted about actually considering buying Rockefeller Center with all the money his daughters were making him. He divorced Venus and Serena's mother, Oracene Price, back in 2002. In 2017, his estranged wife of 7 years, Lakeisha Juanita Williams, allegedly removed a whole bunch of firearms including an AK-47 from their household. This all happened when she feared that the man would hurt their 5-year-old son. Yikes! And it seems like his daughters have inherited some of his controversies. Serena, for example, has gone on record with some questionable comments on. Back in 2013, she faced intense backlash over comments she made to Rolling Stones about a case where a 16-year-old girl was reportedly by 2 high school football players in Steubenville, Ohio. The players were found guilty, but Mrs. Williams didn't seem to think they deserved what they got. When asked about the incident, Serena went on record to say that while she didn't blame the girl, she did think that her parents should have taught her better than to get drunk to the point where she would lose her memory. She went on to say that she shouldn't have put herself in that position. Huh? In a later statement, Serena clarified herself by saying that she was reaching out to the girl's family for what she said. But again, that's not exactly what she said. She said that she was sorry for what was written and what she supposedly said. So I don't know whether that really counts as her taking responsibility. What do you think? But that's not all that she's done that's raised eyebrows. Even some of her injuries have sparked a bit of controversy. After she won Wimbledon in 2010, Serena suffered an injury that prevented her from playing any hardcourt tournaments for the rest of the summer that year. The injury soon became the subject of a lot of gossip because the story behind how it occurred didn't really add up for many people. For one thing, she played an exhibition match right after it allegedly happened. Even the New York Times declared that the injury didn't make much sense. As for Williams and her family, they kept quiet about the details for a while. Eventually, she revealed in an interview that she had cut tendons in her right foot after stepping on glass after leaving a celebratory dinner in Germany. Her version of the story seemed to line up with initial reports. But then again, why the initial silence? It appears that's one of the few times that the Williams have chosen silence. They've made quite a few headlines because of their temper. Serena, for one, has triggered many embarrassing headlines and fines because of her poor attitude on court. She's also received a bunch of warnings for racket abuse, as well as point penalties for her outbursts and verbally attacking umpires. Admittedly, the racket thing happened once, but it ended up with her being charged $17,000, and with Williams demanding an apology from the judge, arguing that male players would never be penalized the way women are. That particular incident ended up making international headlines as the world debated the sport and ties to gender equality, race, and sportsmanship. Then again, you have to ask yourself, how much truth is there to these headlines? Pointing to just social media as evidence, and even the news at this point, doesn't make for the strongest case. Reps for the sisters have been quick to call BS on most of these tabloid stories. So how much of this do you believe? Let me know. Until then, we'll see you in the next one.